Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson. I'm on BrightShine right here in the city of Memphis, and County Sheriff. It's in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Monday morning, June the 17th, 2019. The time 2:46 a.m. First, I thank all my family support for your continued encouragement, support, continue to keep myself employed right here in this Memphis tri-state area. I'll continue to further my education, more work college online. Continue to pursue my social media study, business administration, concentration market to the present time. Take a break from going to school in the very near future. I will be going back to Marlboro College online to continue to pursue my social degree, studying business administration, concentration market. This year, January of 2019, I enrolled in Health Tech Institute of Memphis in the medical assistant program, 9-month program from January to October, and I graduated with a diploma as well as with a certification in medical assistant. And then I'll be employed in the healthcare field. And the reason why I did that because back in 2009, 2010, I was a student at Remington College, and at the Memphis campus right here in the Memphis tri-state area, and I was enrolled in the medical billing and coding program. I think it was 10 months, but I graduated in May. Yeah, and with a diploma, I graduated with a diploma, but didn't graduate with a certification. So without the certification, you can't be employed in the healthcare field. But I'm still having to pay that financial aid back. So with me being enrolled in Health Tech Institute in Memphis, I graduated with a diploma as well as with the certification. I'll be employed in the healthcare field, and I'll be able to pay my student loan back. I'll be able to go back to Marlboro College online, pursue my social degree, study business administration, concentration market, as well as any other future degree. And I know yesterday, Sunday, was Father's Day, why it's on my mind. So I hope everybody was able to enjoy Father's Day yesterday. And while it's on my mind, the United Nations. The United Nations, as you know, they always have a lot of activities and issues that they want to highlight. And so the United Nations yesterday, this weekend, it was World Sea Turtles Day, and we want to applaud the United Nations for their efforts in trying to address these issues of pollution, air, ground, and water, as well as noise pollution, destruction of our environment, nature, and wildlife. See, it's all devil worship. See, when you get to the root of the problem, and when you try to address the issue, it's devil worship. It's these wannabe devil worshipers. Excuse me. These animal sacrifices and human sacrifices. It's devil worship. But we want to continue to applaud the United Nations and World Sea Turtles Day. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna do my Instagram video, and I'm gonna do my Instagram video right now. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known by BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis in the county of Shelby in the state of Tennessee. Today is early Monday morning, June the 17th, 2019. The time 2:51 a.m. First thing, thank all my family for support for your continued encouragement support. Anti-gang. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites that you can go to make anti-gang logo. And first one, I always put God first. I want to thank God for all the blessings and guidance He provides us all with. And I know yesterday was Father's Day, and so hope everyone enjoyed Father's Day. While it's on my mind, I want the United Nations this past weekend was World Sea Turtles Day. World Sea Turtles Day, and I want to say this. Want to applaud the United Nations for their efforts. They're trying to help the sea turtles, and that's one of those. That's one of those issues about pollution. The air, ground, and water, as well as noise pollution and the destruction of our environment, destruction of nature, destruction of wildlife. And see when you get to the root of the issue is devil worship. It's the wannabe devil worshippers. That's what it is. That's what the root of a lot of the problems that we having on this earth is. This wannabe devil worship. First of all, there's no such thing as worshiping the devil, but it's this wannabe devil worship that's being spread. You understand? Being promoted, and there's no such thing as worshiping the devil. You're lying. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. Never has been. See, the root of the problem is the devil, who deceives all of us on this earth. And being deceived by the devil, you make up all this junk, this wannabe devil worship, all this animal sacrifice and human sacrifice. That's what it is. But still want to applaud the United Nations for World Sea Turtles Day. I'm going to continue to complain. I'm going to continue to speak out. People saying they're a gang, they're a mob, put stir on the end. And Merriam-Webster's Third New International Dictionary and Oxford English Dictionary, it gives you the complete total definition meaning of the word gang, mob, stir, and any and every other word. Then you got people. Then you want to say you're a boss, you're a goon, you're a thug. You're a crook, you're a hooligan, you're a Mac, you're a player, you're a pimp on a whore, you're a hustler. You even say you're a nigga, field nigga, house nigga. Street slang. There's nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. And Uh, example of street slang: tic-tac-toe, hop, and scotch. Now, when it comes to examples of street slang and music, hip, hop, rock, roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, funk, doo, wop, beat, bop. It's street slang. Nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. Now, we can go to the quick reference, Wikipedia. We can look up street slang for money, currency, exchange. People all over the earth use money, currency, exchange. They make up street slang for money, currency, exchange here in the United States of America. Examples of street slang for money, currency, exchange: bucks, rack, stack, bands, bread, dough, scratch, loot, moolah, Benjamin, dead presidents. It's street slang. Nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. And now I graduated high school, have a few years of college, haven't earned my social degree yet. No student in Monroe College Online, and pursuing a social degree in business, straight concentrated marketing. And some people didn't, graduate high school, they earned a GED, and they still earn a bachelor, social degree, bachelor degree, master degree, PhD. Then you have those people who just didn't go that far in school, period, for whatever reason. Then you don't know reading, you don't know writing, you don't know math, you don't know science, you don't know technology, you don't know social studies, you don't know vocational and technical training. On-the-job training is on-the-job training. And then you have those people that did go further in school, and they earned, they graduated high school with a high school diploma, took the ACT, SAT, and earned a social degree, bachelor degree, master degree, PhD, the sorority and fraternity. Now, see, this is the reason why the pre-13 colony history is very, very, very important. Harvard University is the oldest institution of higher learning in the United States, founded March 13, 1639, Cambridge, Massachusetts. William and Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 8, 1693, second oldest institution of higher learning in the United States of America. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December 5, 1776. The College of William and Mary was recognized as the first Greek letter student society in North America. Alpha Delta Pi, first sorority, founded 1851, Wesleyan College, Macon, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority with Gamma Phi Beta, stamped on November 11, 1874, Syracuse University, Syracuse, New York. And then you have the first women's fraternity, DuPaul College, 18-something. And the basis of the sorority and fraternity, them old world secret societies, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons. And they be talking about Euclid, the mathematician, lived in Alexandria, Egypt, 1390, 1425, mentioned in the Holloway manuscript, the Regis poem, the Cook manuscript. And also the Dowling manuscript. Now, examples of the old world secret society: Skull and Bones, Rosicrucian, the Sons of Liberty, the Third Society, the Private Society, Ordo Templar Oriental, Knights of the Golden Eagle, the Woodmen, the Ancient Arab Order, the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, the Woodmen, the Improved Order of Redmond, the P.O. Sisterhood, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons, the Elks, the Lower Order moves the Bilderberg Group, the Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Pythias, Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, the Forest Society, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of the Veil, Prophets of the Enchanted Realm, United Order of the Golden Cross, United Ancient Order of Druids, National Grain, Ancient Order of Herbanans, the Opus Dei, the Knights Templar, the Scottish Rite, for example. I mean, it's just a few, there's some more. And then you have the Spanish Garduna, the Carbonaria, the Black Hand, You say Mafia, that's Afro-Asiatic. You say Cosa Nostra, that's Latin. The Triad, the Yakuza, the Osiris. It's just a few. It's a more. And so, don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. The sorority and the fraternity, as you know, they commit crimes on and off the college and university campus. Hazing, they use hazing. The United States Department of Justice, hazing is a crime. And the sorority and fraternity use hazing as part of the initiation. The sorority and fraternity, the initiation rituals. The devil worship. It's devil worship. They some wannabe devil worship. And they use and abuse tobacco products, chewing tobacco, cigarette, cigar. They put drugs in the cigarettes and cigar. They indulge in gambling and games of chance. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. They indulge in immoral activities. They lie, cheat, and steal. Robbery, burglary, assault, rape, molestation, harassment, discrimination, whatever you consider a crime, the sorority and fraternity they give them. And they indulge in sexual deviance and depravity. See, don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. Don't join the sorority and fraternity. Get out of the sorority and fraternity. Discourage others from being involved in the sorority and fraternity. And expose the sorority and fraternity. Renounce all those individuals, all those that started and began the sorority and fraternity, the whole world secret society. Denounce the whole concept and idea of a sorority and fraternity, of old world secret society. The sorority and fraternity, they work and they manage businesses, companies, and corporations. They use and misuse their background check. And they commit crimes against humanity, atrocities. They violate human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment. They destroy nature. They destroy wildlife. Don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity because they're on a college and university campus. They make it sound like they on a higher educational level and they trying to do it. No, they not. The sorority and fraternity are criminals. They criminals. All that sorority and fraternity, all them old world secret society, is devil worship. It's devil worship. Animal sacrifice and human sacrifice. That's what poaching is. Poaching is devil worship. It's animal sacrifice. That's what they doing. They sacrificing animals for the devil, for devil worship. That's what poachers do. And then when it comes to human sacrifices like abortion, drugs, violent crime, the so-called criminal street gang, it's human sacrifice. It's human sacrifice. See, don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. Don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. Some wannabe devil worship. And this is the International Bill of Human Rights. This is the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And then when it comes to animal sacrifice, you know how the animals over at the Humane Society, like dog fighting and cock fighting, and then you take your pets to the Humane Society or to the dog pound. You know they're gonna euthanize those dogs and them cats at the dog pound. Now the Humane Society, they try to find a home for the animals. See, when people take their animals to the Humane Society, you know they doing? They sacrificing animals. This is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. This is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. This is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. This is the International Federation for Human Rights. And this is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. And this is Fauna and Flora International, was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. This is the world's oldest global environmental organization, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, also the World Wildlife Fund. There's some more organizations like the one we just mentioned, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights Frontline Defender, Human Rights Without Frontier, International Center for Human Rights, Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, Conservation Fund, League of Conservation Boards, Earthwatch Institute, Conservation Association, Earth Justice, and Conservation Volunteers, Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, Biodiversity, Nature Conservation Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, the Rainforest Trust, the International Rainforest Conservation Organization, Rainforest Alliance, Rainforest Action Network, Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society, Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, the Oceanic Preservation Society, Oceanic Society, Global Ocean Commission, the International Marine Life Alliance. They're just a few organizations. There are many more organizations. Such as the one we just mean they trying to stop the sorority, the fraternity, them old world secret society from committing crimes. You know what I'm saying? Committing crimes. The sorority and fraternity, like I said, they work and they manage the businesses, the companies, the corporations. They use and misuse the background check. And like I said, they commit crimes against humanity, atrocities. They violate human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, and ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment, they destroy nature, they destroy wildlife. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity. It's devil worship. They some wannabe devil, and there's no such thing as worshiping the devil. God has no opposition. God does not have no opposition. The devil is being punished by God. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. Never has been, never will be. You lying. And see, all this wannabe devil worship. Let's read about the pre-13 colony history is so important. See, when we be talking about the pirates, you know, slave trade and all that. See, the Native Americans, first Americans, they were living in this part of the world, in North America, Mexico, Central America, South America, the Caribbean. Then you had explorers came over from Europe, and then the pirates, and they committed all these atrocities. You understand? And against the Native American, the first American. But see, all that street slang and all that, see, that's where it came from. See, these wannabe devil worshippers. And wannabe devil worshippers. And they picked up, wannabe devil worshippers. They brought all these, slaves and, all the crimes and wannabe devil worship. Wannabe devil, that piracy and the wannabe gang and the street slang. And see that what they do? They lie. It never had been no such thing as worshiping the devil. There's no such thing. God has no opposition. The devil being, see, that's the important thing. The devil being punished by God. So you can't worship the devil. The devil can't be worshipped. You can't worship the devil. The devil is being punished by God. And so that's the reason why all that street slang, when the people came over, the street slang. See, it wasn't no Africans over here. No Africans was living over here. It was the first American, Native American. No Africans. So when you hear all that gang and mob, boss and goon and thug and crook and hoodlum and Mac and player and pimp and whore, you hear hustler, you hear nigger. See, there wasn't no Africans living over here. And that's not Native American, that's not first American. That's the Indo-European. See, it was the Indo-European, the devil worship. Wannabe devil worship. Wannabe devil worship. That's the thing about it. And then because over in Cilicia and Tarsus, it was slave trade then. A lot of Europeans were put in slavery in that part of the world, the Mediterranean. Then you had the East African slave trade. Then you had the West African slave trade. And then you had Africans from Sub-Saharan Africa, the Niger Congo, being transported from Sub-Saharan Africa to the Caribbean, to Central America, South America, and then started bringing. When the first slaves came to America, it was the pirates. The first slaves that came to the United States of America came from Angola. And it was because the pirates was trying to take those slaves to the Caribbean or to Central America, South America. But they needed some supply. They ran out of their supply, so they wanted to trade slaves for supplies. So they came on up, they detoured their route, came on up the coast to where the first settlers were, and traded slaves for supplies. And from that point on, you had all these Africans from Sub-Saharan Africa, the Niger Congo, being brought from Sub-Saharan Africa to the East Coast. And then from the East Coast, they also had slave ports in Galveston, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, the state of Mississippi slave port, even the state of Alabama. The last slave to be brought from Africa came to the state of Alabama. Now the state of Florida has slave ports on both sides of the state of Florida. Veracruz, Mexico, slave port. And see, the East Coast is not a gang or mob base. See, it was them criminals, them wannabe devil worshippers, who brought slaves from sub-Saharan Africa. But see, there's no such thing as worshiping the devil. The East Coast is not a gang or mob base. Chicago, Illinois. When you say Illinois, Chicago, that's First American, Native American. And then when you say gang and mob and all that other stuff, boss and goony thug and crook and hoodlum, you know, crook and hoodlum and Mac and player and pimp and whore and hustling nigga, that's Indo-European. That's not African. See, Chicago, Illinois, not a gang or mob base. It was them criminals who expanded. You understand? Who, you know, went from the East Coast to Chicago, Illinois. Ain't no such thing, no folk gang, no my people gang. No such thing. No such thing riding around on a motorcycle. Los Angeles, California is not a gang or mob base. It was them same criminals who left the East Coast. Then they expanded from the East Coast to Chicago, and then from Chicago, and they expanded to Los Angeles, California. There's no such thing, no blood gang, no crip gang, and no stone gang, no such thing. Some wannabe devil worship. It's devil worship. And there's no such thing as worshiping the devil. Now, this is a list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. Now, state names: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North and South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Let me scroll down to the bottom down here. See also list of place names of indigenous origin in the Americas. So don't let don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. There's no need for nobody to be talking about they're gonna take this ACT and SAT, then you're gonna get a degree, and you're gonna talk about some secret societies and talking about being out in the community, talking about you're gonna be in a gang. The United States Constitution, I can express myself in a gang. You be lying. That's how you know you're lying. And also piracy, the pirates. That you know that's devil worship. You know that's devil worship. Wanna be devil worship. And let me scroll here. So, you know, piracy, and let me scroll down. to the very bottom. Okay, you have the etymology, history, the culture and social structure of piracy. You understand? Let me see here. See also general history. Okay, see also historical book on pirates. Have a general history of the pirates. That's a book, historical book on pirates. Let me see here. References. Okay, the piracy. Now down here the references on piracy. Let me see. Then he has some further reading on piracy. Okay, further reading on that. Oh yeah, well. So read those books on piracy. I think I'm gonna check out one of them books here. But see, that's an indication. There's clear evidence of wannabe devil worship, piracy, pirates. The Catholic Church, organized crime, wannabe devil worship. The Latin Rite, Alexandrian Rite, Armenian Rite, Byzantine Rite, East Syrian Rite, West Syrian Rite. The Protestant Reformation Movement Church in 95 theses, major branch and minor branch, interdenomination movement, other development, related movements. Then you have the American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell Movement, Churches of Christ, Unaffiliated Christian Church, Church of Christ, Congregation Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. Now you know Saint Ignatius of Antioch wrote several letters. One of the letters he wrote to the Smyrnaeans had the phrase Catholic Church in the letter. And then after that, Saint Ignatius of Antioch was in front of 50,000 plus fans at the Roman Colosseum, was eaten alive by lions. And now these other man-made religious organizations and Scientology, L. Ron Hubbard, the Mormons, the Amish, the Mennonites, these cult groups like Jim Jones and David Koresh, the Zoroastrians had a prophet. Islam had Prophet Muhammad, Sunni Muslim, Prophet Ali, Shiite Muslim. The Baha'i, they had a prophet. The Sikhs, they had a prophet, and he wrote a book. And you had these groups, the Moorish Science Temple, Nation of Islam, 5% Nation, American Muslim Society. Khalid Muhammad, he was affiliated with the Nation of Islam. He started the new Black Panther Party. You have all these various black Hebrew Israelite groups. For example, Ben Ami over there in Israel, the Rastafarians. Then you have all these various Pan-Africanists. They talk about bureaucracy, democracy, monarchy, dictatorship, capitalism, socialism, communism, Marxism, nationalism, and all that other stuff. See, it all still falls upon the wannabe devil worship. And all them man-made religion, they used Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul's epistles that he wrote, and he called himself an apostle. And those been evil lying. One of the verses that they use, Romans chapter 16, verse 16, salute one another with the holy gift of the church, with the suffix "E," churches of Christ salute you. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 4. So that we ourselves glory in you in the church with the suffering he has of God for your patient faith and all your persecution and tribulation that ye endure. Now this is a list of occult terms from A to Z. And this is a list of occult symbols. And these are these are world religions and occult symbols. And these are occult symbols. And so, and so don't be misled by the sorority fraternity. As you can see, all this stuff talking about the world religions and occult symbols and occult terms from A to Z, occult symbols. That's the sorority and the fraternity. Them old world secret society. That's the sorority and the fraternity. Don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. Some wannabe devil worship. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. No such thing. Now, these are just a few of the free logo design websites you can go to make anti-gang logos. now I'm gonna get ready to end my Instagram video. And after I end my Instagram video, I'm gonna do my Facebook Live video. After I did my Instagram video yesterday, I did my Periscope video. So today I'm gonna do my Facebook Live video. I just ended my Instagram video, so now I'm doing my Facebook Live video. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known by BrightShine, right here in the city of Memphis in the county ship. It's in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Monday morning, June the 17th, 2019. The time 3:40 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for your continued encouragement support. Anti-gang, anti-gang. Now these are just a few of the free logo design websites you can go to make anti-gang logo. Now these are remember these words: coercion, coerce, sexual coercion, psychological coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse. Now, first, I know that yesterday Sunday, was Father's Day, so I hope everyone enjoyed Father's Day. Now, the United Nations, this past weekend, World Sea Turtles Day. World Sea Turtles Day. I want to make sure I applaud the United Nations for that. And I want to say this: when you get to the root of the problem, when you get to the root of like World Sea Turtles Day, it's about pollution. It's destroying the wildlife, the destruction of the environment and nature. Want to be devil worship. See, all these issues that we having, the root of the problem is want to be devil worship. That's the truth. That's the honest truth. That's the root of the problem. All over this earth, we have a problem. Want to be devil worship. That's what the problem is. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. No such thing. Never has been, never will be. God has no opposition. There's no being that can oppose God. The devil is being punished by God. The root of the problem is to want to be devil worship. Animal sacrifice, human sacrifice. When it comes to animal sacrifice, they're poaching. All that poaching, animal sacrifice. It's devil worship. Poaching is devil worship. That's the reason why all these extensions, all all the animals are being threatened and coming and becoming extinct. Is animal sacrifice. Want to be devil worship. When it comes to the dog pound, the pound, stray dogs, stray cats, they get euthanized after a period of time. Animal sacrifice. The Humane Society. People take their pets to the Humane Society. Animal sacrifice. Animal sacrifice. Dog fighting, cock fighting. See, there's all kind of ways people try to sacrifice animals. When it comes to human sacrifice, drugs, alcohol, homicide, the criminal street organization, homicide, suicide, abortion, having an abortion, human sacrifice, wanna be devil worship, There's no such thing worshiping the devil. Again, want to applaud the United Nations for World Sea Turtles Day. World Sea Turtles Day. Want to be devil worship. Now, I'm going to continue to complain. I'm going to continue to speak out. People saying they're a gang, they're a mob. They put word stir on the end. Merriam-Webster Stir New International Dictionary and Oxford English Dictionary. They give you the complete and total definition, meaning of the word gang, mob, stir, and any and every other word. Then people say they're a boss, they're a goon, they're a thug, they're a crook, they're a hoodlum, they're a mag, they're a player, they're a pimp, they're a whore, they're a hustler, they're a nigga, feel nigga, house nigga. Street slang. Street slang. Nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. And examples of street slang, people all over communicate and use language. There's nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. For example, tic-tac-toe, hop and scotch. When it comes to music, street slang, hip and hop, rock and roll, swing, groove, jazz, blues, funk, doo-wop, bebop. It's street slang. Nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. When it comes to money, currency, and we can go to the quick reference, Wikipedia, and we can look up money, currency exchange. People make up street slang for money, currency all over the earth. Use money, currency exchange here in the United States of America. Examples of street slang for money, currency exchange: bucks, rack, stack, bands, bread, dough, scratch, loot, moolah, Benjamin, dead president. Ain't nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. Ain't nothing official, nothing right about no street slang. And so, I graduated high school, got a high school diploma, and got some years of college. I haven't earned my social degree yet from Monroe College Online, pursuing a social degree in being administrative concentrated marketing. I took a break from going to school. But some people, they earned a high school diploma, they got a GED, and then they still went to college and took the ACT, SAT, and earned a social degree, bachelor degree, master degree, PhD. Then you had those people who just didn't go that far in school, period. For whatever reason. You don't know reading, you don't know writing, you don't know math, you don't know science, technology. You know what I'm saying? You don't know social studies. and you don't know vocational technical training. And then vocational technical training, on-the-job training is on-the-job training. Then you have those people that did go further school. They graduated high school. They took the ACT, SAT, earned their bachelor, earned their high school diploma. Took the ACT, SAT, earned a social degree, bachelor degree, master degree, PhD, the sorority and fraternity. Harvard, and let's see, this is the reason why the pre-13 colony history is so important. Pre-13 colony history, very important. Harvard University, oldest institution of higher learning in the United States of America, March 13, 1639, Cambridge, Massachusetts. William and Mary College, Williamsburg, Virginia, founded February 8, 1693. Second oldest institution of higher learning in the United States of America. Phi Beta Kappa Society, founded December 5, 1776. The College of William and Mary, recognized as the first Greek letter student society in North America. Alpha Delta Pi, first sorority, founded in 1851, Wesleyan College, Macon, Georgia. The first organization to adopt the word sorority was Gamma Phi Beta, established on November 11, 1874, Syracuse University, Syracuse, New York. Then you had the first women's fraternity at DuPaul College, 18-something. The sorority and fraternity. The basis of the sorority and fraternity of old world secret societies. For example, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons. They be talking about Euclid, the mathematician, lived in Alexandria, Egypt. 1390, 1425, mentioned in the Holloway manuscript, the Regent poem, the Cook manuscript. And the Dowling manuscript. Now, examples of them old world secret society. Skull and Bone, Rosicrucians, the Sons of Living Thugs, Society, Private Sound, Ordo Templi Orientis, Knights of the Golden Eagle, Women, the ancient Arab order of the Nobles on the Mystic Shrine, the Improved Order, Written Appeal System, the Eastern Star, the Freemasons, the Elks, the Lower Order Moose, the Bilderberg Group. Ku Klux Klan, the Knights of Pathan, Knights of Columbus, the Illuminati, Forest Society, Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Mystic Order of the Veil Prophet of the Enchanted Realm, the United Order of the Golden Cross, United Ancient Order of Druid National Grain, Ancient Order of Urban Names. And also the Opus Dei, the Knights Templar, the Scottish Rite. I mean, it's just a few. There's some more. The Spanish Garduna, the Carbonaria, the Black Hand. You say Mafia, that's Afro-Asiatic. You say Cosa Nostra, that's Latin. The Triad, the Yakuza, the Osirica. It's just a few. There's some more. Don't let the sorority and fraternity mislead you. The sorority and fraternity, they commit crimes on and off the campus, on and off the college and university campus. The United States Department of Justice, hazing is a crime. The sorority and fraternity, they use hazing as part of the initiation into the sorority and fraternity. The initiation rituals, devil worship. Wannabe devil worship. Excuse me. And so the sorority and the fraternity, they use and abuse tobacco products, chewing tobacco, cigarettes, cigars. They put drugs in the cigarettes and cigars. They indulge in gambling and games of chance. They use and abuse alcohol and drugs. The sorority and fraternity, they indulge in immoral activities. They lie, they cheat, they steal, burglary, robbery, assault, rape, molestation, bribery, extortion, anything, harassment, discrimination, whatever crime the sorority fraternity is guilty. They indulge in sexual deviance in the private. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity being on the college and university campus as if they trying to do what's right. Their education is so high that that's beneath them. They criminals. Criminals. The sorority and fraternity. Don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. Don't join the sorority and fraternity. Get out of the sorority and fraternity. Discourage others from being involved in the sorority and fraternity. Expose the sorority and fraternity. Renounce all those that started and began the sorority and fraternity, the old world secret society. Denounce the whole concept of sorority and fraternity, the old world secret society. Don't be misled by the sorority and fraternity. Now, the sorority and fraternity, they work and manage all these businesses, companies, and corporations. They use and misuse the background check. They commit crimes against humanity, atrocities. They violate human rights and civil rights, inhumanity, genocide, ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, ground, water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment. They destroy nature. They destroy wildlife. All this stuff about animal sacrifice and human sacrifice is wannabe devil worship. Wannabe devil worship. That's what it is. It's wannabe, and there's no such thing as worshiping the devil. God is God. God does not have opposition. God is punishing the devil. And this is the International Bill of Human Rights. And this is the Convention on the Elimination of all forms of discrimination against women. And this is the Declaration of the Rights of the Child. The United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child. And this is the world's oldest human rights organization, Anti-Slavery International. And this is the International Federation for Human Rights. And this is the world's oldest international conservation organization, BirdLife International. Fauna and Flora International was the world's first international wildlife conservation organization. And this is the world's oldest global environmental organization, International Union for Conservation of Nature, and also the World Wildlife Fund. And there are more organizations like the one we just mentioned, Amnesty International, Human Rights Watch, Global Rights Frontline, Defending Human Rights Without Frontier, International Center for Human Rights, Conservation International, Wildlife Conservation Society, Conservation Fund, Legal Conservation Boards, Earthwatch Institute for Service Association, Earth Justice, the Conservation Volunteer, Wildlife Conservation Network, Endangered Wildlife Trust, the Biodiversity and Nature Conservancy Association, Rare Species Conservation Center, Wildlife Research and Conservation Trust, the Rainforest Trust, the International Rainforest Conservation Organization, Rainforest Alliance, the Rainforest Action Network. Biodiversity International, Earth Day Network, Environmental Defense Fund, Friends of the Earth, Friends of Nature, Greenpeace, the Nature Conservancy, Wildlife Conservation Society, Soil and Water Conservation, Clean Water Action, World Water Council, Marine Conservation Institute, Marine Conservation Alliance, Oceanic Preservation Society, Oceanic Society, Global Ocean Commission, International Marine Life Alliance. There's just a few. There are many more organizations like the one we just mentioned. And they try to stop the crimes that the sorority and the fraternity, them old world secret society, be committing, that old devil worship. Devil worship. Wanna be devil worship. Wanna be devil worship. The sorority and the fraternity, they know they work and they manage all these businesses, companies, and corporations. They use and misuse the background check. They commit crimes against humanity, atrocities, violate human and civil rights, inhuman, genocide, ethnic cleansing, all forms of discrimination and harassment. They pollute the air, the ground, water, as well as noise pollution. They destroy the environment. They destroy wildlife. They destroy nature. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity, them old world secret society. Don't be misled. And see, the pre-13 colony history. See, the East Coast is not a gang based on mob based. And when we talk about Cilicia, Tarsus, you know that part of the world, Turkey. Today is Turkey. Cilicia, Tarsus, that time. There was a period of time in the past. It was like it was a base It was like it was a base for the pirates. And there was a lot of slave trade going on. A lot of the Europeans were being traded as slaves. And then you had the East African slave trade, the West African slave trade, and the West African slave trade. Many other Africans from Sub-Saharan Africa, Niger, Congo, were brought to the Caribbean, Central America, South America, and include Mexico, and to be slaves. Now the first Americans and the Native American first Americans, they were already living here. And then the explorers, well, the explorers came first, and they came in contact with the Native American first America, and then settlers and came and settled, and and then you had this West African slave trade. Well, then the pirates had slaves on a slave ship, and the pirates needed supplies, so they diverted. It was one of the ships diverted their route, came up the East Coast, and came in contact with the settlers, and they traded slaves. And these slaves came from Angola. They were the first slaves that came to this world, to North America. They came from Angola. But see, it was the pirates wanna be devil worship. It was the pirates. They needed supplies, so they traded slaves for supplies. And then from that point on, you had all these Niger Congo slaves from Sub-Saharan Africa being brought to the East Coast, as well as slave ports in other states, Galveston, Texas, New Orleans, Louisiana, the state of Mississippi is a slave port, state of Alabama. The last slaves in the West African slave trade came to the state of Alabama, the state of Florida, both sides of the state of Florida, slave ports. Veracruz, Mexico, slave port. See, and all that piracy, they want to be devil worship. It's devil worship. Now, this is a list of place names of Native American origin in the United States. Now, state names are Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, Arkansas, Connecticut, Hawaii, Idaho, Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, North and South Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Wisconsin, Wyoming. Now let me scroll down. To the bottom here. It says a list of place names of indigenous origin in the Americas. And see, this is the reason why the East Coast is not a gang or mob base. Because when you say gang or mob, that's Indo-European. That's not Native American, First American. That's those criminals that came over from the old world. And then those same criminals, they expanded to Chicago, Illinois, to the state of Illinois, Chicago, and the state of Illinois is not a gang or mob base. See, that's the reason why. See, when you say Illinois, that's Native American. It's Native American, First American. Then you start seeing all this other stupid stuff. Boss and goon and thug and crook and hoodlum, Mac and player, and pimp and whore and hustler and nigga. You say all that gang and mob. That's not Native American. That's not First American. There's no such thing as no folk gang, my people gang. No such thing. It's this that nonsense, that criminal stuff. Wanna be devil worship. And then them criminals expanded from Chicago, Illinois to Los Angeles, California, saying there's no such thing. Los Angeles, California is not a gang or mob base. There's no such thing, no blood gang, no crip gang, no stone gang, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. Wanna be devil worship. Now, pirates. Now let me scroll down here. Okay. Now you got the etymology and history of pirates. You got the culture and social structure of pirates. Let me see here. See also. Now they have books like the general history of the pirates, a historical book on pirates, list of pirates. Women and piracy in the Atlantic world, references. Now there's a lot of references. And okay, then you have some bibliography. So I mean, there's some books on piracy, yeah. And then you have the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church, organized crime, wannabe devil worship. The Latin Rite, Alexander Rite, Armenian Rite, Byzantine Rite, East Syria Rite, West Syria Rite. The Protestant Reformation Movement Church, 95 Theses. You have major branches, minor branches, interdenominational movement, other development related movement. It's still the Catholic Church. That's the Catholic Church. The American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell Movement, that's the Catholic Church. Churches of Christ, unaffiliated Christian Church, Church of Christ, Congregation Christian Church, Disciples of Christ. Still the Catholic Church. Because see, the American Restoration Movement, Stone Campbell Movement, they talking about they going back to the first century church. See, Saint Ignatius of Antioch, he wrote several letters, and in one of the letters that he wrote the phrase Catholic Church. Now after that, Saint Ignatius of Antioch, in front of 50,000 plus fans at the Roman Colosseum, was eaten alive by lions. And then you have all these other man-made religious groups, organizations. The Amish, the Mennonites, Scientology, the Mormons. Or you had these cults like Jim Jones, David Koresh, The Zoroastrians, they had a prophet. Islam, Prophet Muhammad, that's a Sunni, and Prophet Ali, that's a Shiite. The Baha'i, they had a prophet. The Sikhs, they had a prophet. He wrote some kind of book. And we had groups like the Moorish Science Temple, the Nation of Islam, 5% Nation, American Muslim Society. Khalid Muhammad, he was affiliated with the Nation of Islam. He started the New Black Panther Party, the Rasta, all these black Hebrew Israelite groups. For example, Ben Ami, over there in Israel, the Rastafarian movement. Then you have all these Pan-Africans. Now they be talking about the economy, and they be talking about the government, bureaucracy, democracy, the republic, theocracy, dictatorship, totalitarianism, capitalism, socialism, communism, Marxism, and so on and so forth. And so, it's born to be devil worship. It's born to be devil worship. That's the bottom line. It's born to be devil worship. There's no such thing worshiping the devil. There's no such thing. There's no such thing worshiping the devil. Want to be devil worship. Animal sacrifice and human sacrifice. Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul. And see, all those man-made religious groups and organizations, they use all those epistles that Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, wrote. And Romans chapter 16, verse 16, salute one another with a holy kiss. The church with the suffix ES, churches of Christ salute you. And as you know, Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed Apostle Paul, he wasn't no apostle. He was not an apostle. Second Thessalonians chapter 1 verse 4, so that we ourselves glory in you in the church with the suffix ES, of God for your patience and faith in all your persecution and tribulation that ye endure. this is a list of occult terms from A to Z. And this is a list of occult symbols. World religions and occult symbols. Ain't number wannabe devil worship. Wannabe devil worship. Ain't no such thing. And then you have occult symbols. Wannabe devil worship. Wannabe. A wannabe devil worship. No such thing. God don't have opposition. God does not have opposition. The devil being punished by God. Want to be devil worship. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. There's no such thing being a devil worshiper. I mean, you know, you have to be honest. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. No such thing. God does not have opposition. The devil is being punished by God, and not just the devil. All that offend and do iniquity. But the important thing, first of all, the devil being punished by God. The devil being punished by God. That's the key. Now, before I get to my Bible reading here. And again, that's the reason why don't let the sorority fraternity mislead you. Don't be misled by the sorority fraternity. You be seeing a lot of people on television talking about they got a PhD. I've been to college, I got a PhD, and you're not going to tell me that. Well, don't worry about it. So want to be devil worship. I'm working on it right now. Criminal and civil charge. Criminal and civil. You ain't got to worry about me telling. I'm not going to tell you nothing. I'm going to show you. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm showing you. You going to jail. You ain't smart. I know you think you're smart. You're going to call your attorney. I'm going to call my attorney. Wait, go ahead, Mr. B. Go ahead. To be honest with you, I've been saying this all the time. That's what I wanted you to do. That's what I want all you people. That's what I want the Pope to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want the Archbishop of Canterbury to do. Call your attorney, Mr. B. Call your attorney. Call your attorney, because they going to jail with you for conspiracy. The one that took the ACT and the SAT. I'm so smart. I'm so smart. I'm gonna influence others with my knowledge of the law. You have freedom of religion. It's your right. You can practice your religion in a way. No. That's a lie. That's a lie. You can practice devil with lie. That's a lie. The Bible gonna put you in prison. There's no such thing as worshiping the devil. You going to jail for lying. Ain't no such thing as worshiping no devil. No such thing. Now, the United States government, like all governments around the world, enact laws that are intended to make each and every one of us safe from crime, organized crime, want to be devil worship. The United States government enacted the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970 and Title IX of the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970, the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations Act, the RICO Act, anti-gang. Sure. The Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act of 1970, the Controlled Substance Act, the Psychotropic Substance Act, the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Statute, Kingpin Statute is all anti-gang. The Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention Act of 1974 established the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, as well as other related legislation, is anti-gang. The Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, Office of Juvenile Justice Links Prevention, and the Comprehensive Gang Law, the Office of Juvenile Justice Links Prevention. The Bureau of Justice is the Office of Justice Program, the United States Department of Justice. The Office of Justice Program, Bureau of Justice Assistance, the United States Department of Justice. Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, and the Project Safe Neighborhoods. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Community-Oriented Police and Service. Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs, the United States Department of State, Institute for Intergovernmental Affairs, Gang Resistant Education and Training, the Great Program. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, Office of Juvenile Justice, the Links Prevention. In October 2009, the National Youth Gang Center, which had been funded by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention since 1995, merged with the National Gang Center, which had been funded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance since 2003. The National Gang Center, compilation of state laws against gangs, gang prevention overview, research program, Mr. James Gang, Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, the United States Department of Justice, Bureau of Justice Assistance, Office of Juvenile Justice and Links Prevention, National Gang Center Bulletin, and the title of that bulletin, History of Street Gangs in the United States Now. Read the books in the bulletin, to refer to. Now, you can find that same information. You go to the quick reference, Wikipedia, and it'll be titled Gangs in the United States. The United States Department of Justice, Officers of the United States Attorney, 1457 Criminal Street Gang Statute 18, United States Code 521, the United States Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, National Gang Intelligence Center, the United States Department of Justice, Organized Crime and Gang Section. There are other federal, state, and local agencies. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, Anti-Gang Strategy, Prevention, Intervention, Assessment, and Suppression. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice. The United States Department of Health and Human Services, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, National Center for Injury Prevention and Control, Change of Course, Preventing Gang Membership, and also striving to reduce youth violence everywhere. The United States Department of Justice, the United States Department of Education, the United States Department of Health and Human Services, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, the United States Department of Labor, and the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, National Forum Youth Violence Prevention Forum. You can go to youth.gov and be informed about the National Forum Youth Violence Prevention, as well as the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative and the Comprehensive Gang Model. The United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, National Crime Prevention Council, keeping kids out of gang, and the United States Department of Justice, hazing is a crime, and anti-hazing. You go to lawyers.com, be informed about anti-hazing. Savior Jesus Christ, the Son of God. Matthew chapter 1, verses 18 through 25. Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 23. Luke chapter 1, verse 1 through 8. And Luke chapter 2, verse 1 through 52. The Lord's Supper. Matthew chapter 26, verses 26 through 29. Mark chapter 14, verses 22 through 25. And Luke chapter 22, verses 15 through 22. The Lord's Prayer. Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 through 13. And Luke chapter 11, verses 2 through 4. The Beatitudes. Matthew chapters 5, 6, and 7. And Luke chapter 6, verses 20 through 49. John the Baptist. Matthew chapter 3, verses 1 through 17, emphasize verses 11 through 17. Mark chapter 1, verses 1 through 11, emphasize verses 7 through 11. Luke chapter 3, verses 1 through 22, emphasize verses 16 through 22. And John chapter 1, verses 15 through 34, emphasize verses 26 through 34. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, teaching in the synagogue. Matthew chapter 4, verse 23. Mark chapter 1. Mark chapter 1, verse 21. Luke chapter 4, verse 15. And John chapter 6, verse 59. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, he begins his ministry. Matthew chapter 4, verses 12 through 25. Emphasize verses 23 through 25. Mark chapter 1, verses 14 through 45. Emphasize verse 14, 39 through 45. Luke chapter 4, verses 14 through 44. Emphasize verse 15, 43, and 44. John chapter 1, verses 35 through 51. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, he chose 12 disciples. Matthew chapter 10, verses 1 through 42. Mark chapter 3, verses 13 through 35. Luke chapter 6, verses 13 through 49. And John chapter 6, verses 59 through 71. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, established the one church. Matthew chapter 16, verses 13 through 19, and Matthew chapter 18, verses 15 through 20. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, gives his apostles commission. Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 16, verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 24, verses 44 through 49. And John chapter 21. The death, burial, and resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God. Matthew chapter 26, verses 1 through 75. Matthew chapter 27, verses 1 through 66. Emphasize verse 50. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 57 through 60. Matthew chapter 28, verses 1 through 20. Emphasize verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 14, verses 1 through 72. Mark chapter 15, verses 1 through 47. Emphasize verse 37. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 43 through 47. Mark chapter 16, verses 1 through 20. Emphasize verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 22, verses 1 through 71. Luke chapter 23, verses 1 through 56. Emphasize verse 46. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 50 through 56. Luke chapter 24, verses 1 through 53. Emphasize verses 44 through 53. John chapter 17, verses 1 through 26. John chapter 18, verses 1 through 40. John chapter 19, verses 1 through 42. Emphasize verse 30. Joseph of Arimathea, a disciple of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, took his body down from the cross. And also verses 38 through 42. John chapter 20, verses 1 through 31. John chapter 21, verses 1 through 25. Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, Son of God, chose 12, gives his apostle commission. Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20. Mark chapter 16, verses 14 through 20. Luke chapter 24, verses 44 through 49. And John chapter 21. See, that's the reason why there's no such thing, no devil worship. You see all them Bible verses. See, Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, not leaving out the Old Testament, God. Then you get to the first, you get to the New Testament, Jesus Christ, the Son of God. As it says in the book of Matthew 28, Matthew 28 verses 16 through 20. Jesus Christ told, all power in heaven and earth has been given to me. He told his apostles. There's no such thing, no devil worship. He made it up. It's a made up junk. It's lies. I'm gonna get ready to end this video. It's gonna be part 1. I'm gonna get ready to end this part 1 of this video, and then I'm gonna start part 2. And it's gonna be dated June the 16th, 2019, part 1. This will be part 1. Then I'm gonna start part 2.